Your next vehicle from Community Motors of Mason City.
Great service from 3 locations. Community on Monroe, Community Motors Westside, and Mason City Ford. 10 new franchises and hundreds of vehicles to give you more choices. Plus, Community offers an exclusive 3-3 warranty on pre-owned vehicles and 10-year, 250,000-mile warranty on new. Need more reasons why? Stop or visit CommunityAutoGroup.com.
Because nobody beats a community deal.
Okay, at this time, we're gonna go back into session. It's 10:15. We're gonna move back into item D, the outside funding request presentation. We do have a short list of people who have asked for money that if they're here, we'll let them speak. If they're not here, that's fine. And then the ones that haven't done anything, we'll ask them after we get done with those. Just remember, it's 5 minutes or less, and we do not take action today. This is just, we'll take our outside funding requests today, so when we get the budget done in a couple of months, we'll be able to decide what we have to give away. So at this time, I'm going to start with RSVP.
Wonderful, thank you. Thank you for having me this morning. I just wanted to, and I sent you some information, I want to make sure you have that. Okay, I just want to tell you a couple things that RSVP is really going like gangbusters in Cerro Gordo County. We've increased our number of volunteers. With our Pen Pal program, we have 95 new volunteers writing letters to 4th and 5th grade students in 6 classrooms between Mason City and Clear Lake. And we're pretty confident that a lot of these pen pals will move on to be reading buddies. So we're happy to bring them in a way that doesn't take a lot of time, and then maybe when they have more time, they'll move into tutoring students in reading. And with the new school partnership between Ventura and Garner, we were able to move the reading coach, which is the middle school program, into Ventura. So we actually have 7 reading coach volunteers in Ventura serving students at that school. So middle school is a little bit harder, where you get into like block scheduling, and the student schedule is a little different. But because it was such a strong program in Garner, we were able to move that right over to Ventura and serve more students, some of them from Cerro Gordo County. And then I just wanted to point out our summer reading programs. We started that this summer, and we had 13 volunteers who served 108 hours in Cerro Gordo County. And the idea behind that program is, kids can lose so much over the summer when they're just sitting at home watching TV or playing video games, or even out doing what they should be doing, playing. But keeping up on some reading through the summer months makes them ready to learn when fall rolls around. So we were happy to partner with Party in School and the Y and get some kids reading during the summer. And we have basically doubled our number of volunteers in Cerro Gordo County since last year. So I just wanted to point out those details for you, and that's the reason for the increase in the request.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, only comment, having been involved with RSVP in some way over the last few years, I certainly know the volunteers and the effort that's put in on behalf of, many of these programs. I mean, it's really a wonderful example of people sharing their talents with those who need it. And, you have a very good program, and and you've done a great job in representing, the seniors and children and helping them. And surely appreciate that effort.
Thank you. Thank you, Jane. We appreciate your support.
You bet. Thanks, Molly.
You bet.
Okay, moving on to NIAC Alumni Association.
NIAC, are you the
Okay.
NIAC Alumnus Association?
I'm not.
Nope. Grace is
I can be, but I'm not.
You're in NIAC. Maybe go down the hall. What you do out
He's just with me.
I'll probably find out.
Crisis intervention. Kenny Pioneer. visit Mason City Clear Lake Chamber. Hi, Sue.
Good morning.
Hello, Sue, how are you?
Good. Winter is here,
Yes, it is.
and we're hot and heavy, believe it or not, into the tourism season because we're preparing for our 2013 season. And so that's the reason why we're here. On behalf of Visit Mason City and the Clear Lake Chamber, we're requesting funds for joint projects that are done between the two organizations. And as you have outlined in your packet, we have in here a list of all the projects that we're doing together jointly, as well as the amount of funds that each organization is also committing in addition to what we're doing jointly. So we're not just coming to you asking for funds, we're also coming to you saying that this is part of our overall strategic plan to bring more visitors to town. And a little bit about the funds that were utilized last year. We had a record number of requests within our office. We were up 44% in joint project requests. And so we had over 9,000 requests for information from folks from all over the United States wanting to come or consider coming to the Mason City and Clear Lake area. As you know, these tourists leave visitor spending behind, and this visiting spending actually helped grow the amount of tax revenues that were generated in Cerro Gordo County last year. They increased it by 12%. So these are the funds actually that we're here today asking for consideration, because that's the source of the outside funding sources. So these visitors are directly integral in generating the funds that help grow the community, and so we're seeking assistance in trying to further that by earmarking some of the funds for the tourism industry. So we did increase our request today, and I outlined this in the letter. The majority of funds, of course, are for joint projects, but we are also preparing ourselves for PGI 2014. We are in contract negotiations, so we do not have a contract finalized with them. However, we know there's a minimum requirement for a bid fee, and a bid fee is just very much like if you were bringing a large company to town. That is the fee that the community is providing, or the organizations are providing to bring that event to town, because there's 3,000 people that will be here for 8 days, because the registration for the convention is 3,000 people strong. So the requirement is fairly significant, and so we're seeking some additional funds. This isn't something that we're going to ask each year. This is project specific. So once the event is held here, we'll be utilizing those funds for that purpose. And if for some reason, which I highly doubt that this will happen, but if for some reason that the contract did not go through and we are not the host for 2014, then those are funds that we would not utilize. So we would be, those are specific for that project. So any questions?
I would only say that, I'm really glad that you and the city of Clear Lake have merged your efforts and you're really promoting the county jointly. I think that's great. And did you want to say anything about your new office and its visibility aspects and some of the positive things that have come about since you've been in your new home?
The new digs. Yes, our visitation in the office over the course of our key time period was up 200-some%. And in our office, we're just not focusing on Mason City, but we also have county and actual region information and state information. So we actually are really trying very hard to be a source of information for just beyond our front doors, knowing that when we keep them here longer, they leave more visitor spending behind. So we've seen great growth in that. Our partnership with Clear Lake, I want you to know and thank you that this program, being able to receive some joint funds, has helped further solidify and further engage the joint projects. So this has really been instrumental in helping us be able to do that.
Okay,
So thank you.
you bet. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
Moving on down, community kitchen. The North Iowa Corridor. Nyack Housing and Trust Fund.
How about Nyack?
Nyack, excuse me. That's all right.
You know.
I knew you'd straighten me out.
I'm here today just because we've increased our request to you folks. We are completing our first year of the Cerro Gordo County Housing Trust Fund. We were able to secure monies, $71,000 through the Housing Trust Fund, $150,000 through the Federal Home Loan Bank. We were just awarded $300,000 for next year for the Federal Home Loan Bank and $74,000 through the Housing Trust Fund. So we have grown the Cerro Gordo County pool of funds about 62%, and those funds are available for anybody within the county in the unincorporated area as well as the incorporated areas. So we've have a difficult time raising local match. It's critical. We have to provide the local match. We've reached out to you folks last year and are thankful for your support. We have also received support from our local financial institutions, the Mason City Clear Lake Board of Realtors. With the additional money requires additional local match, and so that's why our request has increased to you. So very worthwhile project. Jay sits on the board, so he has firsthand experience with what we're doing. I think we have 30 projects underway in the county right now with an additional 10 yet this year. We expect to certainly almost double that next year. If we were doing a specific housing rehabilitation program for an individual city, whether it be for the city of Mason City or Rockwell or any of your communities, we would be asking for a project this size of $16,000 local match from a local community. So we're really, you guys are off the hook on a match requirement of that nature, but we will have to raise in excess of that with the local banks and financial institutions that are participating. So just a heads up that we're asking for more, which I know you already know, but would certainly answer any questions you might have about the program.
If there's more money, would I have to sign my name less?
Probably not.
No. Any questions for Joe?
Just one comment, Mr. Chairman. Joe pointed out that I serve on the Housing Trust Fund Board, and he did mention about the money he's been able to leverage, and the organization, NICOG, has been able to leveraging for the trust fund. And I think it's remarkable that you've been able to raise that kind of money in the course of maybe 12 to 14 months. I think they've done an outstanding job, and we've got a lot of housing to be rehabbed out there, and having the resources to do it are vital. And so I just say that NICOG has done a great job in doing that and showing the kind of interest in our cities that we really appreciate.
And the traditional programs do not serve the rural areas, and so this is the one program that we can assist individuals in the unincorporated areas of your county. So, thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Okay, Best Buddies. Morning.
Good morning. My name is John Cole. I'm here on behalf of Best Buddies Iowa. I'm a volunteer. I have a daughter with special needs. I don't know if you're familiar with Best Buddies. Best Buddies has been in Mason City High School since 2004. And what they do is they facilitate friendships and relationships with special needs kids with their peers. The hope is to continue that in high school and then have that continue on as they get older. But the reality is the high school kids without special needs go off to college and go on with their lives, and the special needs kids stay here, end up in group homes, and don't have a friend. No judgment on high school kids. I didn't do it when I was in high school either, so we're here to help facilitate that relationship and let them know if you would just take somebody to a movie, out for coffee, go to the mall, it really adds benefit, not only to the special needs child, but also to that peer, and let them know that there's a bigger world out there and kids that need their help. I have a daughter that's 16 years old with Down syndrome. When she was this big, she wanted to do everything with her mom and dad and her brother and sister. As she got older and her siblings got older, they would go off to birthday parties. My special needs daughter would stay at home with us. Now on a Friday and Saturday night, when the other two siblings have something to do, our daughter doesn't want to hang out with her mom and dad and go to the movie. She wants to hang out with her friends. That's what we do. We connect special needs kids with their peers. And I know we've never gotten funding from you in the past. I don't even know if we requested. I got involved last April. They have what they call a Best Buddies Prom, where it's just special needs kids and those peers, and they can just be themselves. So that's what they do. Mason City has done a great job. Officially, you have 54 kids involved at the high school level here, but Clear Lake, Garner, some of the other schools around here reach out to Mason City and say, how do we do this? We can't afford to put one in every school. So Mason City High School is our official program, and then they reach out to the other schools. And if you've got a kid in Clear Lake that doesn't have one, they'll help facilitate that relationship and help get an unofficial program in some of the other high schools. So that's what we do, and we appreciate any support you give us. So any questions?
I have heard some good things about you guys, and I think this is your first time for a request, so we'll take that into consideration, and thanks for coming.
Thank you.
Mason City Civil War Council. Libraries. There we go.
I'm Mary Markwalter. I'm the director of Mason City Public Library, and I'm here to represent all of the libraries in Cerro Gordo County. We met a little while ago and talked about what our asking would be this year, and of course we always ask for a little bit more every year because the operations of the libraries cost more between wages and utilities and all of those things that we pay for. But we do offer an awful lot of essential services to people, even though we're always considered a non-essential service in our city. People use us for Wi-Fi access and public computer access. At Mason City Public Library, we offer actually on average about 22 service units per capita annually, which is pretty high actually. So when you consider there are about 47,000 people in the county and we're averaging 22 units a year, that's pretty good. That's more than one a month. And when we talk about service units, it's not just that they're checking out books. It's that they're using meeting rooms, they're faxing things, they're copying, they're printing, they're coming to programs. So we keep that all in motion all the time. And just our building alone is 44,419 square feet. So I'm sure you guys are aware from operating a building, it takes quite a bit to keep it all moving along all the time. And the smaller libraries in the county are really important too, because we're all community hubs at some point, because everybody can come there, and everybody does. It's all socioeconomic classes, statuses visit the libraries for various reasons. If nothing else, just to come in and visit their friends. And I know in the smaller communities too, they are really important for after-school programming and just a safe place to be after school for a while until their parents can get off work. So that's why we operate, and we're really proud to do it, and we thank you very much for considering our request.
You bet. Thank you for coming. Okay, we went down through the list, but I see a few more people out there, so I think we'll start with Elder Bridge.
Yes. Thank you. I've provided an annual report for all of you to take a look at. Obviously, I'm not going to read it. It's a large report. However, I will bring you some highlights. I'm here as an advocate for seniors. I'm here to tell you a little bit about your money and what you're spending. I do have a board member here. He's the president of our board, Mr. Steve Palmer. The board, my name is Mick Tageson. I am the director of Elder Bridge. If you'll turn to the back of your book, I can start explaining a little bit there. Elder Bridge covers an area, a rather large geographic area of 2, 5, and 12. Recently, Iowa legislation indicated send out the requirement that the primary service areas would be merging from 13 that you see on your map now to 6. Elder Bridge went into a competitive process for adding additionally region number 3. Recently in November, Elder Bridge was announced that we would be the serving agency moving into the future, which is a significant event in Elder Bridge's history. Unfortunately, that means another agency lost the process. And we have a plan that is equitable, that is fair, and that we propose to the state that how we would work with that area to ensure seniors got served. Any questions about a merger?
In Service Area 3, where is your location, your facility located?
We're looking at, in this preliminary part of this phase, looking at a location in Spencer. We have locations, obviously, our head office is here in Mason City where I am from. We have Fort Dodge, and we have an office in Carroll that I visit frequently, I assure you. One of the things that I really want to point out to you as we're talking is keeping seniors at home is a big deal. And if you just look at not as a, there's two sides to that deal. Number one, accounting wise. Services, and I've told this to many, many people, because I worked in South Dakota with adult services and aging. Basically, what you look at is in-home services can cost you anywhere from $700, sometimes $5,000 a year. Now, if I can keep that person at home and not in assisted living, because a little bit of services can go a long ways, I can save, if you go, like, for example, into an assisted living, runs you around $50,000 per person. Nursing homes can run up to $80,000 a person. So you can get a kind of an idea of how important it is that we keep our loved ones at home as much as possible. Personally, and this was for a personal note for myself, my grandmother lived with me until she passed away. She was from North Springs. She would have went into the North Springs Care Manor. I don't remember the name of North Springs, it's been a long time. But back then, if you add that up, her living with me, it was literally hundreds of thousands of dollars that I was able to save the state. But the trade-off was I got to spend time with my family. My grandmother and I shared stories she shared with me many times in the past and again, and so on and so forth. But the hidden savings, the hidden benefits was spending time with my family. And I always tell everybody that story when I'm telling that, because how important family is. My grandma was part of the one I consider the greatest generation. She was part of that World War II generation that helped us all here at where we're at today. You look at the request, and what I did was bring out a sheet at the front for everyone to look at. Elderbridge basically put $687,162.26 into the community. We were asking for $28,825.20. That basically is about a 2,300% return on your investment. I think that's pretty darn good. I don't know many banks that can match that, but now if you take a look at that, imagine how much money that $28,000 is saving you over time, those hidden costs, keeping those folks at home. One of the things I'll tell you is those costs and keeping people at home, people heal better, live better, are happier living at home as much as possible. And I'm not anti-nursing home or anti-assisted living. I believe they have a place in our society. But I recently saw a poll, and I think it was like 90-some% of seniors want to live at home and maintain their lives at home. One of the battle lines is right now at the state is we're challenged with facing funding cutbacks of epic proportions. And I've seen funding formulas of up to $300,000, $280,000 cuts to the Elderbridge services. So it's never been more important, as I've explained to each county, that we get as much as we can, because we can take a little bit of money and go a heck of a long ways with that money. Your number one service that you utilize obviously is congregate homebound meals. You have 48,772 units of service at an expenditure of $232,225.44. Another thing of staying at home, getting a hot meal goes a long ways, and keeping people at home. Just that little bit of investment goes a long ways and saves you a lot of money. Not to mention the hidden costs that you don't see is spending time with your loved ones, them having an opportunity to remain independent. The list goes on that I could tell you about, but there is real value in it, I can tell you personally, and how much it means, that the support that you give Elder Bridge. And every dime that we get from you, we put out and utilize in the best way that we can to minimize the cost on the citizens of Cerro Gordo County. As we work as a board with staff, we exercise every avenue at every avenue to make sure that we're spending the money in good ways, that it's distributed out. Even with funding cuts, we're looking at the best possible ways that we can spend that money without reducing services too much. There will be some reductions, but those will be, we have to wait for, depending on what the state of Iowa gives us for a funding formula. Do you have any questions of me at this point?
Don't do so. Do you have any questions?
No, you guys perform a great service, and we're well aware of the aspects of staying in the home as far as not only the physical health of the person, but the mental health of the individual. Because a lot of our programs here with case management that we have,
Yes.
deal right in the same deal with the same issues that you do. Plus, Community Kitchen partners with the meals process.
Right.
So, Elder Bridge is an intricate part of that, and a very vital part of it, and we certainly recognize your good work.
And I can tell you, I was a case manager in South Dakota, and one of the things I did when I went in to homes is I was sometimes the only face they see in long times. Their families are off in Phoenix, California, and a lot of times I'm the only connection to them. So sometimes I'm able to help them call their family if there's a problem, or when I'm doing case management, for example. I'm able to help them a little bit. Well, I could help them a little bit with funding matters, helping them a little bit with their checkbook back in South Dakota. Sometimes they'd love to tell me stories, and some of those stories were great to hear, and I would learn a lot of information, but I'd be able to assess the health of the person. A lot of times I wouldn't have to ask a lot of questions just because I just sit and listen to what they have to say. The benefits are huge. If you look at the money, the mental health aspect of it, the connection with people, the laundry list goes on and on and on, that I could take up more than 5 minutes of your time. So I know you're busy and you have a lot to say. I think our president would like to say something.
I think you already did take up more than 5 minutes, Mick. But I'm going to be very brief. I just would like to say thank you for your support. And the people that we're helping in Cerro Gordo County and the other counties we serve are the lower income people by and large. And so there really is a significant need, and as you can see by the material Mick provided, those are increasing numbers. The average household income is about $10,000 less in a senior household than it is in a regular household. So these people are the people we're working with, and we want to be as efficient and effective as we can with them. Thank you.
Thank you, ladies and
Thank you.
gentlemen.
You bet, thank you. I see Habitat is here. We'll let you go next.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah.
Definitely in great company with all the agencies that are here. I know you guys are very familiar with Habitat, and we so appreciate the past support that you guys have given. And a lot of the things you've supported us for are things that are hard for us to get. We write grants every chance to everybody, so it's really made a huge difference, the things that you've done, so thank you. Just to kind of fill you up to date, I guess, with what we've been doing. Now we've served 43 area families, so keep going up with that number. We're hoping to build 3 more houses this upcoming year, 2 in Mason City and 1 in Garner, so we haven't done 1 in Garner yet. We have a Thrivent Financial grant for the Garner one, so that'll be great. And then working with some other funders for the Mason City ones, and we're growing the Restore. So the support that you've given, the lights, I don't know if you've had a chance, please stop by. The lights that you granted us last year have been installed, and people keep walking in, and there's something different about you can see. Because we have lights, and it's made a huge difference, so thank you very much for that. You guys are familiar, but just a quick reminder, the families that we serve are low income, but they're hardworking, and they do pay for the home, 0% interest mortgages. Can't beat that, to a bank. We are the bank, basically, which is why we have to fundraise for the materials and things like that. So we work with some great families. They just want to provide a safe, stable home for their families, and that's where we come in. One thing that we haven't talked about as much, which I think we need to focus on the right side, you'll see, it is truly an investment when you support Habitat, because we give back to the communities that we serve. The families that we serve typically have been renting, so they haven't been paying taxes. Last year alone, our homeowners paid more than $28,000 in taxes in Cerro Gordo County. That's money that probably wouldn't have been paid otherwise because they were renting. We also hire for excavating, concrete, plumbing, and electrician, all the electrical work, safety reasons that we have to hire for those. So typically an average Habitat home, we pay $32,000 just for subcontractors, so that's helping the economy. And about $35,000 of materials that we buy from local stores. So that's all money that goes back into the communities. So over $435,000 with just last year, the homes that we've built, that's gone back into communities that we've served. Benefits for children, you guys know this, but when a lot of the families too that we serve bounce around and they don't have a stable place, they don't have bedrooms, they don't have, they're sleeping on the floor, on the couches, they can't study, they're having a hard time sleeping. So once they get into a good home, their grades go up, higher rates of graduation, lower rates of teen pregnancy. So there's a lot of benefits that go to the families we serve. So I know you're very familiar with Habitat, but just a quick update on that. There's a sheet in the back on the right too that talks about the restore, specifically the benefits, as well as just the benefits to the region. So our needs, we have not increased our ask as a lot of others have, so we're trying to keep it about the same. Main things that we really need right now, we really need a good copy machine. We had one donated 2 years ago, and we've sucked the life out of that as much as we can. And it was an old copy machine when we got it, and it was great, but it's totally died on us. And so we copy mortgage documents. I mean, there's a lot of things that we have to do for that, as well as the store. So looked around and priced, and this is a middle range one. It's not, amazing, but it's a good one, and it will get us going for years. So that's something we really need for all of our homeowner program, as well as the restore. Since we've moved into the new location, a forklift is something that has really become apparent that would help a lot to put things on pallets, move things around. We basically have volunteers that are helping in the store, and so they're trying to lift big items. If we could put them on pallets and move them around, that would really help a lot, as well as the West Building where we have our donations to process them. So we've been working with some local forklifts and basically, or looking at prices. And we have someone who's willing to match that $1,500 if we're able to get that. So that would get us a decent one that we could at least use. It'll be used, but it would be one that we could make work. And then the dirt compactor, we've been doing a lot more sidewalks. We tend to get lots donated that we build on, and they always seem to need sidewalks and work on that kind of thing. It's just part of the deal. So we've been doing a lot of them on our own, working with NIAC Building Trades, and just trying to get those done. But something that our construction supervisor said would make his life a lot easier is to have one of those dirt compactors to really help us to get things like that done efficiently. So these are the requests that we have, and these are some basic things that we really need right now.
Where are your two homes in Mississippi?
North End. They're going to be on North Pennsylvania, right across from Gooch Park. There's
Right.
2 lots that we had donated there.
Right.
So it's a great place for families right across.
But you already have one home up there.
We have 3 up on North Penn area, so it'll be good to, we're trying to really, the neighborhoods that we build in too, it increases their property values, and we're really trying to work on building up those neighborhoods.
I see you're gonna go in and flood homes.
Oh, it's a whole other topic, but yeah. We are salvaging 45 homes by January that we just found out we were able to get into. So that's a whole big project right now.
By salvage them, where I'm asking a question, can you just, recycle and recoup the money,
Yeah, it's the whole reason that we're doing that is to sell those items in the store, and that'll help us to build our homes next year, that funds that we raise from that. And it keeps these houses are, I think a lot of the general public don't realize how nice these houses are. They've been fixed up after the floods. They've been lived in, new carpet, new water heaters, new furnaces, and then now they're rezoned, the floodplain, so they're getting torn down. But there's 12 houses in Meadowbrook, and then some in the Oak Park, of course, There's some up by the Baldwin Park Diamond, 2nd Street Northeast. So we're trying to get in there before the demo crews, but after the asbestos abatement guys. We have a short window and we need lots of volunteers for this month, which is the hardest month to get volunteers, but we're doing what we can. We did 6 houses last week in Meadowbrook. Salvaged a lot of stuff. So vanities, carpeting, toilets, great items. So it's actually, it's been keeping us busy, but it's a wonderful opportunity too to save these things, and hopefully that money will help us to build the homes next year. So, and we do have storage lined up for that. That was a huge deal that we were worried about, but we have a place to put the stuff now too. So.
Good.
Yeah, so no lack of stuff to do.
No, you're a busy organization and everyone is, but yeah.
You bet, thank you.
Okay.
Any questions?
Thank you, Melissa.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thanks, Melissa.
Appreciate your consideration.
Northern Lights, I see you're here.
Good morning.
Morning.
Thank you for allowing me to come. I'm Joey, I'm from Northern Lights. We started out in '99, of course, you all know that, and now we have 5 shelters. And so, and the reason why we have 5 shelters is that we outgrew our original shelter and we had to find room for other persons that are homeless. We started out with the men's shelter, and then we built one for veterans, because we have a lot of veterans that have found themselves homeless and needed housing. We also have Garrett House, and Garrett House now is for men that have disabilities, which is full. That's a 7-bed capacity. And then we have women's shelter. It's called Trinity House of Hope for Women and Children. And we have, I think, we have 15 rooms on the 2nd floor and 8 rooms on the 3rd floor, and they're full to capacity with mothers and children. With the economy the way it is, it's not only drugs and alcohol that bring people to the homeless shelter, but it's with not having employment, being evicted from their homes. We have so much that's going on in this generation that we need to help. So what we're asking for is just a little bit to help us defray the cost on maybe the utilities, and also helping with the overday operations of the shelters. We have served over 300 men and women with children this last year. Just the other day, we got a call from the high school that there's one young man that's 18.5 years old. His parents have been incarcerated. They have no home, and he has no place to go. So we're going to try and help him. We're going to put him in the shelter, help him with all the needs that he needs, so that he can continue to graduate probably in the spring. I probably could go on all day long about the homeless shelters and what we do. We have a wonderful community that provides a lot of donations so that we can move people on into their own apartments after they've been with us and received all the resources that we have to offer. We can give them medical, we can give them educational opportunities through NIAC that comes twice a week to the shelters, that help with GEDs and smart shopping and budgeting. And then we also have, we work with the local landlords to try to find them affordable housing. We did buy a Penske truck. We got a grant, so we bought a great big Penske truck, so now we can pick up donations and we can help people move into their own apartments and houses, and hopefully a Habitat house down the road for a mother and a child. So with that, we work very closely with Mercy Hospital that provides us free medical and dental for the people that cannot afford it. I have 5 staff. We're putting on 2 new staff that's going to do case management and outreach coordination. So when they come aboard, then we'll be able to help people assess all the needs that they need in the community without them having to walk through every step, which a lot of them really don't know where a lot of services are. And so what we do right now with the small staff that we have, we're constantly on the phone trying to find places for them that they can help them so that we can move them on as quickly as possible. So I just wanted to thank you for your continued support and hope that you will remember us. So if there's any questions that anybody has for us.
Any questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anybody else that we've overlooked? Okay. At this time, I think we've taken care of it. The last item on the agenda is adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
Okay, we got a motion, second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion carries. Thank you all for coming.
Thank you.
We appreciate that.